Hello, my name is John, and in this video, I'm gonna get rough. What do I mean by that? My guitar nicks. So this guitar, for example, this guitar has a glossy finish, nice and shiny and super smooth on the front and on the body, but also the neck. The neck is a glossy finish. So super smooth, and that's as opposed to something like this. So you can see that it's not really, the body isn't really shining like the other one. Let's see if I can get them both up. So this one is obviously very shiny, the other one not so much. So I guess in guitar speak that's called gloss finish, and this is called a satin finish. So I don't know if I would call that really satiny. I would just call that not glossed up, because it's not a super expensive guitar. I don't think they were purposefully trying to do satin finish on that. I just call it like kind of a little bit roughy style. So I don't know if you can hear that. Right? That sound versus this sound. So even just rubbing my hand across this, it doesn't move as quickly. It's so smooth, there's more contact surface, the gloss, which means more friction, which means slower moving. So this actually has lots of little bumps on it. That finish has little bumps on it. There's a lot less actual surface contact if you microscopically, if you're looking at it. So it slides much more quickly, much more easily. This one, same pressure. I can feel my hand sticking. You can almost hear that squeaky on a basketball court. But yeah, it doesn't slide as quickly. So what does that mean? So when you're up on the neck and you're wanting to go between chords and switch over between chords, I can already feel my thumb just like sticking to the neck. And so that's one of the reasons why you'll hear about like different specs on guitars, specifications on guitars, and they'll talk about whether the neck has a glossy finish or whether it has a satin finish. Recently I wanted to redo the frets on this, or like I took some steel wool and some like this sanding sponge. These frets were kind of sharp, so I sanded them down there, and then I put tape in here, and I did the steel wool on the frets, and it made it all nice and smooth and really nice. And then while I was at it, I thought, oh, you know, this guitar also has a gloss finish. What I did was I sanded down the neck here, and my hand moves a lot more quickly across it by having sanding the gloss down. So it just moves, just really kind of just slides effortlessly. Whereas before it would be more of that sticky thing. Now this guitar I also put on, because I sometimes use it for doing little kids concerts, going over to a kindergarten or something and doing something with kids. And so I put stickers on it and things like that. But the stickers were starting to peel up, so I decided that I'd do a spray, like a lacquer spray on it to keep it, the stickers down. And then what I noticed though is that some of the spray kind of went past where I was protecting the guitar, like up here. And when I was rubbing my hand on it, you know, you can hear it, but also the difference between that and this. And I noticed, oh, it's just sliding much more quickly with all these little bumps from the lacquer spray. And so that kind of gave me a little bit of faith in, oh, if I sand down the neck, perhaps it will be like this. It's just going to slide more quickly. This was an old beater guitar I bought for $100 and then started like changing out the parts and stuff. So it's quite a good guitar now. It sounds really nice and it's fun to play. It's got a huge neck on it, but My point is that I've got some other guitars here that I'd like to maybe take the gloss off the necks. And of course, this is my main electric guitar, so I'm a little bit nervous about doing anything that's going to decrease its playability. So, but I have other guitars, so why don't I start? Well, you know, this one's already kind of satiny, but I think I'll sand it up, sand the back of that neck, and I'll sand the back of this neck, this Yamaha I forget what that's called, auditorium or concert or something, the size of that body, but it's also got a glossy finish, right? And so I'll sand the back of that neck. I'll probably sand this one. It doesn't need it so much, but I'll do it a bit anyway. I've got a bass over there. I'll do that. And then finally, I'll, you know, if it looks like it's working out, you know, properly, then what I'll do is I'll turn my attention to this one, this Epiphone dot that has a gloss finish on the neck, and I will sand it off. I'm gonna sand off the gloss. So that's what this video is all about. I'm going to probably go into some time lapse here and go through several guitars, and that's the deal. So why don't I start with that blue one, the Resonator. Alright, so down on the floor here I have a big plastic bag, and I'll just start sanding that and see what happens. I'm not going to be gentle about it. Back in the day I was a carpenter, you know, working on houses and stuff, and you just need to put up the houses and you learn how to work quickly and you end up being not so fastidious about everything. So I'm just gonna hammer through this. Might even use a thicker, a heavier grip. So anyway, let's see if I can get this going so that you can see it in the video, but I can still work on it properly. Alright, here we go. So I should put on a mask because the particulate is coming up a bit. You can see that it's taking off whatever covering that white stuff is, like all the little particles of whatever was on there. Definitely a lot smoother and a lot faster, but part of the reason why it's fast is there's still like little pieces of the particulate on there that's acting like a kind of like a dry lubricant. I can feel that it's getting hot actually. What the fuck? So this one wasn't too bad to start with, because as I said, it's kind of got the satiny paint finish on it. So I did get into it a bit. Does feel faster. Yeah, it's definitely faster. But part of that is that there's still little bits of that powder on it, and that's making it go faster. But no, I think it is. I think it's faster. There's a lot less friction, a lot less resistance. Alright, well that's that one. Okay. Let's check this one now. I'll try to give you a nice shot of the neck, if I can. Can you see that, I wonder? I'm not sure if it's focusing properly or not. This camera's a bit finicky sometimes. The focus. Try to get back into focus now. I hope it's in focus. Let me check. Is it in focus? I hope so. It's hard because the screen is kind of small on my camera. I can't really tell. But anyway, so this is glossy. So I'm gonna maybe take this this bigger grit that I haven't. Like here's the one. Actually, this is the one I just used. This is more of a finer grit, I suppose. This one's like really kind of gritty, and I'm just gonna use that and get into it first and see how it goes, and then maybe go to a finer grit after and smooth it up a bit. But I just want to get all this kind of glossy off first. Yeah, the powder's really coming off. Oh, I'm already starting to get down through to the wood. So that's actually kind of what I want, personally. I want to kind of get down to the wood. So taking off all that gloss and just getting down there to the wood. That's what I'm interested in. I don't know what somebody else is interested in, but I want to see the wood. Alright, that might do it. See, I've got a lot of lacquer or gloss or whatever that chemical is, whatever the right term for it is, onto it. It's gone on that hard powder. It's been gone onto my sponge there. So obviously, if you do this, I mean, it's probably going to reduce the value of your instrument, I would imagine. There might be some exceptions to that. I don't know what they are, but you know, if you are going to do something like this, you ought to be cognizant of that. Be aware that if you're planning to sell your instrument, probably reduce the value. Oh wow, so much faster right there. But there's still kind of powder on it, which would speed up that. But yeah, way just sliding effortlessly. We've got a lot of powder everywhere now. But yeah, definitely faster. I mean, I do have some powder on my hands, some powder on the neck, but yeah, that's way better. And I think it looks cool. I'll show it to you in a second. You can see, also doesn't take very long, does it? Alright, so let's see if I can show this to you. Get that, see if I can get that. You can see that. See how much that changed? If I can get that in focus, can I? Not sure if it's coming into focus properly or not, but you can see the difference right there, like the wood and then the gloss, the stain in the gloss wood. So yeah, maybe if I focus on that first. Focus on that. Okay. See that? Right? Can I refocus now? Refocus. I hope you're refocused. So that's the deal. That's all it takes is just a bit of sanding. I use a sanding sponge, which is nice because it folds around the curve of the neck nicely. So I'm getting a really nice, there's like little indentations and stuff. It looks really cool, like this old weather beaten wood pattern here. Now looks really cool actually. I should sand off the whole thing, man. That looks really cool. And I'm not doing it for the looks necessarily. I'm doing it because my hand just slides now, like so much more easily. So again, on this one, you know, it just sticks. It's really smooth, glossy, and you know, it's just slower. It's just resistance. There's so much surface contact because it's so smooth that you end up getting more friction between like your hand, which is usually kind of maybe a little bit wet, or you know, there's the kind of that electrical attraction that results in the friction on the surface area. Yeah. So maybe I'll do the base and then in the end come to that. So far this one's better, this one's better. That one I did it the other day. I'll do the base now and then turn my attention to this one. So again, you know, very shiny neck there, high gloss on it. So yeah, let's change that. Okay, so that just took a minute or two, and you know, I didn't go as deep on this one as I did on my acoustic. You still have all the stain there, but that gloss is certainly not as glossy now, right? You're not, as I move it around, you're not seeing that shine, that reflection that you saw a moment ago. And yeah, it's better, it's faster. It's faster. Okay, here comes the big test to do the my main electric guitar. So again, you're moving around the light, you can see the gloss on the neck, that huge gloss. It's this really dark, like indigo blue. So yeah, it only took a couple minutes to do the other one, so here we go. Alright, here we go. Okay, so far you can see that there's taken off that surface gloss, not down to the wood. I'm thinking I might like to go down to the wood just to see what it looks like. I'm not sure how hard that would be though, how much time it would take. Alright. So, yeah, so you can see now it's kind of got this, the neck is black or maybe a really dark blue, and I sanded it quite a bit, but you know, I'm not seeing any wood, so I'm guessing the paint and it's quite thick on it, and but I don't need to go any further. I think I've got this kind of really, it's not black, I guess, really dark blue